All right, good afternoon, everybody. We have a special meeting of the City Council of the City of Cape May. We are here in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. The time is now 2:32. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council and posted on the Cape May City website and Cape May City Hall Bulletin Board. Notice is hereby provided that the Cape May City Council meetings are audio recorded and/or video streamed live. Live video streams are posted on the Cape May City website. The City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording or live video streaming of a meeting is unavailable. Roll call. Deputy Mayor Baldwin. Here. Councilmember McDade.
Here.
Councilmember Meyer.
Here.
Mayor Mullick.
Here.
Councilmember Yeager.
Here.
City Solicitor Gillen Schwartz.
Here.
City Manager Paul Dietrich.
Here.
And Deputy City Manager Justin Riggs.
Here.
All right, Council, we have one resolution, and that is Resolution 206-07-2024, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12, discussion on proposed sublicense and restoration agreement with JCP&L.
Do I have a motion? I'm sorry, we have a public portion. Is anyone here wishing to speak on this? Seeing none, we'll close public portion. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Yeager.
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer.
Yes.
Councilmember McDade.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin.
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes. Time is 2:34.
Are there still cups in it? Yes. And the coffee maker? Oh, yeah? Well, they were never used anyway.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Everything good?
Yeah, no complaints. I just got my internet back about 5 minutes.
Well, you get back if you complain, but yeah. No, but thank you.
Yeah.
All right, good to see you.
Insurance stuff anyway, so it's not like he has a lot of conflicts of doing. No, because he, no, I mean, no. Yeah, but he probably just would not do the JIF work. No, I mean, he probably wouldn't be assigned to our JIF work.
Because I like him for that, too.
Yes. Yes.
That was crazy. I never seen that. My entire life I've seen that. Good. I'm starting to complain about things myself.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We have a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Cape May. We are here in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. The time is 3 p.m. Oh, I apologize. First, we have to close our closed session. I apologize. Do I have a motion to close the closed session?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Solicitor, you want to give us a quick update on that?
Yeah, council discussed a proposed sublicense and restoration agreement with JCP&L. We do anticipate adding that and considering formal action tonight. We'll discuss that when we get to that point tonight.
Thank you. With that, I'll again open up our public regular meeting here. We are in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. The time is now 3:01. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council and posted on the Cape May City website and Cape May City Hall Bulletin Board. Notice is hereby provided that Cape May City Council meetings are audio recorded and/or video streamed live. Live video streams are posted to the Cape May City website. The City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording or live video streaming of a meeting is unavailable. Roll call. Deputy Mayor Baldwin.
Here?
Councilmember McDade.
Here.
Councilmember Meyer.
Here.
Mayor Mullick.
Here.
Councilmember Yeager.
Here.
City Solicitor Gillenschwartz.
Here.
City Manager Paul Dietrich.
Here.
Deputy City Manager Justin Riggs.
Here.
All right, Council, I believe we have one addition tonight. That is Resolution 216-07-2024. Resolution authorizing execution of temporary sublicense, restoration agreement, and amendment to settlement agreement with Jersey Central Power and Light Company, JCP&L.
Council, I think we should probably add this to the non-consent agenda, just for the solicitor to give an explanation. Is that okay? Do I have a motion to add this to the non-consent agenda?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll
second.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Yeager.
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer.
Yes.
Councilmember McDade.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin.
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
All right, next up we have performance hearings.
Our consultant, I think, has been delayed coming down, so I think I'll just go through and they're really the three projects that we have, small cities, DCA. I don't have a presentation for this, Brian. It's for the next thing. So these are performance hearings that were required under our DCA grants, that as you get to a certain point within the project, to have a hearing just to kind of give a status update of where they are, and then if the public had any questions regarding the projects and the status of that. So the first one is the 2021 water main project. This has been a project's been on the books for a while. It took a long time because we had to switch some engineers on the design process. It finally kicked off right before the 4th of July holiday weekend, and then after that weekend, they kind of started in earnest. They've made the wet tap into the transmission, the existing line, and they've started down that process. They're probably at this point about 20% completed of the main. Everything's moving along fairly well, and we're happy with their progress with the contractor. The Kiwanis ADA Improvements Project, this one obviously is probably 99% complete. We have a little bit of change order work that we're looking to have them do based on a change order that council approved, I think, last month or maybe 2 months ago. Park's been open, obviously Camp Cape May, the kids have been really getting the park an extra workout that making sure everything's good in there, and all the ADA improvements there. Just kind of give you a little side snip. The bathrooms, not part of this project, but just to give the council an update, the bathrooms, if you haven't stopped down and looked at it, the siding's almost all complete. It's probably complete as of the end of today. They've painted the inside. They've started to set some of the mechanical, and probably by the end of this week, they'll probably start hanging some plumbing fixtures inside the building. So we're getting very close. We're hoping to have a mid-August be able to open that bathroom up, as well as the promenade bathrooms.
That's great.
And then the ADA Beach Match project, obviously, everybody's familiar with that. We did do a change order to the grant for that, so it's not just the ADA mats that, that we put down up on the beach. We're also purchasing 12 additional ADA beach chairs. They've been ordered, and they should be arriving here fairly shortly.
They came
Oh,
today.
they came
Yeah,
today?
on Facebook.
They came today. So, the last part of that puzzle will be reconstructing the Mount Vernon elevated access way, and that's a project that Public Works will be taking on as one of their projects for the winter, during the off season. So, but that's part of that ADA Small Cities Grant project for that. So that's kind of, I'll say, the performance hearings, how we're doing. I think they've all been on schedule, and hopefully, the Kiwanis will probably be able to close out probably in the fall time. The water main project probably by the end of the year, by the time everything gets done, and then the ADA mats probably early spring by the time Public Works is able to finish the Mount Vernon crossover. So we're in good shape to how we're performing on them and getting them completed. So I guess it probably wouldn't hurt if anybody, we should open this to the public, so if anybody has a question regarding any of those three projects, if council doesn't have any questions.
No, I'm sorry, I forget his name.
Mark Blauer?
Is Mr. Blauer coming, or?
I just checked my email. I mean, he was scheduled to be here. I can only assume that something.
No problem. I
Either
think-
he's
I
gotten
know
delayed
you're-
in transit, or,
Yep.
but, I'm pretty sure I've covered the program requirements for what these performance, this is a, part of the grant requirement is to hold these performance hearings. And, really, it's the opportunity to put the information back out to the public, to make sure the public, A, is aware of these projects, and if there's any questions about the implementation of the projects, that the public has an opportunity to comment on.
The water main project, and just to explain it more to the public, I believe it's wells 6 and 8. I know it's.
It's really,
well 8.
it's to isolate 8 so that we know we have a separate feed for well 8 if we have to
So
separate
we'll have
well
2
6.
lines, and I think it's about a half a mile, right? It's
A little bit more, yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty long line between the 2 wells. If you were ever to shut down one well, which of course you're always going to have some maintenance performing, this would allow us to bypass that well through another pipeline. So it
Right.
really is like a duplication of
Yes.
of service. So it's definitely an important project. One question I did get about this was in regards to the new desal plant, and is this project worthwhile? It has no effect on the desal plant itself. I mean,
Correct.
it has an effect because it makes it, we have a duplication of service. In case one well does go down, we could still, basically it's a transfer pipe essentially.
Correct.
Just to add that. And the ADA Beach Mats project, probably maybe not normally part of a performance hearing, but I think the performance has been really excellent. DPW did a wonderful job getting the mats out. I saw the 12 wheelchairs today lined up. You look at it and you think this is really cool. I mean, we are helping some people that could use some help, and it's a pretty cool thing. Any member of the public who hasn't gone down to Mount Vernon and taken a look at that beach, it's a really cool spot. If you ever want to read a book or something, go down that. And really the platform to get to the beach it reminds you of like the Cape May Point State Park. It's really neat, and I think it's kind of a little hidden gem that I'll say here in a council meeting, but maybe not to the public on Facebook, because
Yeah.
I think our local secrets are getting few and far between.
I think you just upset all the regular people that use that beach, that you've just kind
I
of
hear
put it
you.
out there that that's a nice quiet spot on the beach.
But to know that even that platform is going to be repaired and really well done by our DEP in this same grant is pretty cool. I mean, performance-wise, I think we've really used that money well, and
And we actually
you have to
maximize it. So this was something, the Mount Vernon project wasn't part of the original grant opportunity. When, it was discussing the project with Eric, Superintendent of Public Works, we were looking at, how many beach mats we were doing, when the prices were coming in, we're like, hey, let's, because we had that on their project list as using our capital funds. So we were able to, take some of our capital funds that were earmarked for that project and then now able to put them towards another project that we can move forward by utilizing grant funds for something.
Great job, Eric. And then Kiwanis Club ADA, I think anybody who's seen it kind of speaks for itself, really. The capability of kids in a wheelchair to be able to use it just as much as anybody else is really neat, but frankly, it's easier for everybody and safer for everybody, so it's really been a hit.
And we're actually looking, with the ADA grant we received for the tennis club, we're looking to extend that, path up into the tennis club. And, my hope is to eventually connect that up through the physics estate and then up to Washington. So, that you can essentially walk from Madison through Kiwanis Park, through the tennis club, through physics estate up to Washington on an ADA access.
And that's one that is a local secret that we don't necessarily want to keep secret. Eventually, and really today, if you're on a bike on Washington Street coming into town or out of town, you really should try to go through Mac, through the physics estate, and through Kiwanis. Get off of Washington Street as quickly as you can. Yeah. And frankly, as you said, that tennis club will extend that path even further, which is great. With that, and again, I apologize that Mark Blauer isn't here, but is there anyone here wishing to speak from the public in regards to the water main project, Kiwanis Club project, or the ADA beach mats? Seeing none, we'll close public comment and move on to updates and old business. City Manager?
Thank you. Just to start off, before I go into the issues that happened and our fun excitement that we had last Friday, I'd ask Superintendent Eric Brzezinski to come up, and we just wanted to kind of take a time to acknowledge all of our Public Works employees for doing such a great job on all the different projects. So I know Eric wanted to kind of bring some of the people in and just give a general acknowledgement for our Public Works employees, from top to bottom. We have, whenever we ask them to do stuff, they invariably, sometimes begrudgingly, but they always know, and they get it. They go out there and get it done, and do the best they can for our residents and our visitors to give them the best experience and opportunity. And they've done a lot of projects, as well as just general maintenance and upkeep of city operation. But there's a lot of projects, that they've taken on and done that really highlights what they can do. So I know Eric wanted to come up and just give a little
Well,
shout out.
Especially in this heat, thank you all for being out there, because it's pretty brutal, so appreciate it.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'd like to thank you guys for having us here today and recognizing the hard work that the men and women from Public Works do. Not everybody's here. Half of them working their side jobs and second jobs. There's no table, like Paul said, and there's nothing, we gripe, but we got to be hard a little bit, So otherwise we get taken advantage of. No, I'm just joking. So growing up playing sports, there was no I in team. And I just want to, this is my team right here. So I'm proud of each and every one of them. And we go hard. So I appreciate you guys. I'm sure Mayor, Council, and Paul, and Justin, and the public all appreciate everybody. So that's all.
Thank you, Eric. We're going to add a few more projects since you're doing such a good job. But no,
Bring it on.
Can I get a couple more people?
yeah. In all seriousness, we really appreciate the hard work, and I say as mayor to all of the people in the city of Cape May, of course, I don't know how things work, until you get in this position, and I've just been so impressed. I mean, really, on a daily basis, I see the hard work, and like Deputy Mayor said, in this heat, and Maureen, it's you look around the town and all the beautification projects and important other utility projects. I see you guys at midnight when a pipe breaks or something. I know it's water department as well, but Frank, I think of you when in the middle of the night something goes wrong and you get the phone call. You're always ready and willing. And you made a little joke about griping. I hardly ever hear it, to be honest with you. I mean, little things here and there that are probably deserved because, working with us. But in all seriousness, you all do such a wonderful job, and I just say thank you very much.
Can I add to that, Mayor?
Please.
I would just like to add real quick that, the paint is fresh. You see it through town. The streets are clean. The flowers are beautiful. They're watered. What was the last thing I was going to say? I just think. The lawns are cut. I just think Cape May looks so beautiful because of you folks, and it's noticeable, and the people appreciate it, and that's why they come here. So thanks.
Chief?
If I can just add, I know I talk a lot, but in the police department side of things, we call upon Public Works a lot. I mean, probably daily, if not 3-4 times a day. Starting from my left up here, Mr. Bosna, I had some work done here, a year ago, 2 years ago, and they were in there doing some detail work, and I'm like, I said, Steve, who's going to see it? I said, it's okay, it's all good. He's like, I see it. That's the difference between some things that people do in life. I mean, he worried about him seeing it, his hands being upon it and touching it. So it's behind a wall. The public won't see it. I see it. And he was worried about the crookedness of a shelf. And he got it right. And every time I walk in there, I'm like, it's because Steve took a little bit more time in his day. Same thing this way. Every time I call upon these guys to do something or help us out or make a phone call to Edie, something's broke, something, or Rich down there, everything like that. Jack and the boys, it's just a good feeling when you have that, and I probably call upon them more than you do for whatever you need. So, like I said, the cleaning staff, making things right, and when we call them in the middle of the night, Frank and Eric and everybody else, the same thing. Like, it's a good feeling to have a good crew like that. So I can't compliment my staff without complimenting Eric's staff and the great job that they do. So as a department head, I weigh heavily and call heavily upon them. So I do appreciate everything they do as well. So appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief.
I got one more thing I want to say. I hate this. You guys are just awesome. We can talk about you all day. But the recycling team that you have, they take care when they put those recycling cans back. You see that. Not every trash company gives a heck, and it shows again. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. We really, really appreciate it. You're welcome to stay and see the rest of this. But
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. So I guess probably now on to a little less fortunate and good news.
So, I guess from an update, last week was a busy week. We start the week with one emergency. We ended the week with a different emergency. So our emergency services were really put to task last week, and I think, like always, they rose to the occasion. So, on Tuesday, we had a report of a suspicious package. The area was cordoned off and closed down for a bit of time, and they investigated. Fortunately, nothing was found. But when I read the release and information that we put out there, the most important takeaway was that somebody reported it, and that's the most important thing. You'll get some naysayers and like, oh look, they did all this and it was for nothing. It wasn't for nothing, and I just ask the public, if you see something, say something. That's really important to always have that out there, because the emergency folks, they went out there and did their jobs because they were trained and they did everything by protocol to make sure that we're all here safe today. And I think that God forbid the one day that somebody doesn't say something and do something, and then God forbid something happens. That's what we don't want to happen. So I just encourage everybody to, if you do see something, say something and report it, because we take everything seriously, and it all turned out good in this case. I move on to Friday. Friday, 8:20 a.m., it was probably the loudest lightning strike that I've ever witnessed. So I just got a couple pictures just to kind of update what happened here at City Hall, because we did have to shut down City Hall. So this is an old Google shot of the antenna that's up in the back, and you can see on the very top, there's a 20-foot high VHF antenna on top of there. That's what got struck by lightning and kind of sent the surge through City Hall. We talked with some lightning strike people. They feel, based on the weather reports and the locations, they feel that the strike was possibly out in the center of Ocean Avenue, but you know how lightning goes, it has like reaches for it, and it can strike it out. So obviously that's the highest, you know, even though it's like 300 feet away, for lightning, that's just an arm's reach away, and that's the highest thing around in that area. So, you know, whether it was a direct strike or not, it hit our building, and that's where it came in. This is a piece of that antenna that it shattered, and you can see when you so that's the top of the antenna today. You don't see that 20-foot, I think it was 20 feet, 22 feet antenna on there, and then you can see the shards on the ground of how that antenna, there's copper pieces and shards. This was a Public Works vehicle that was parked right next to the, that's just another piece of the shard. This was the Public Works vehicle that's parked right next to the base of the antenna. We had a Public Works employee in that vehicle at the time of the lightning strike. So he was the closest, probably, person physically here at City Hall next to it. I just want to report, fortunately, he walked away, no problems. We did make sure that he went to the doctor, make sure he checked out that ticker, make sure that it didn't get a little restart button or whatever. But you know, this is probably the most fortunate thing that happened on Friday, was he didn't have any injury, as well as, you know, any potential damage here at City Hall. So what we followed through is, I'm going to go back up. So we have several antennas on there. You know, this round antenna, and then there's a square antenna on the other side. Those are microwave antennas that we do point-to-point network communications. So that has a network cable that comes down into City Hall. And when it entered City Hall, it blew off the plate, and this was the inside of where one of those wireless antennas connects into City Hall. This is actually, I have up here on the dais, you know, where it blew out and singed everything. So that's how it entered the system. So, you know, everybody thinks, oh, you always have to protect the electrical, you know, the power of the system, but actually we were attacked. It came in through the networking system. You know, we had, you know, even after the last lightning strike that the city had, we had UPSs at most of our computers within the building. You can see up on the auditorium stage, that's where we're starting to stage a lot of the equipment that has been fried. You can see there's 2 APCs up there. You know, they were closer. I think they were in the police department, because that's where all this networking system comes in through there. You know, it blew those APCs and obviously the computers behind them, but then it traveled through all of our networking system, and it hit a computer, and in many cases it didn't destroy the whole computer, it just destroyed the network card in the computer. So, you know, and it went through a lot of our phones. So it really went through, and that's where it hit. There's the panel on the box where you can see it singed. Here you can see, I think that's Chief holding up the box to show, you know, when it was still connected to the wall. This is just to give you an example. So here's a coax cable. This is up in my office on the 3rd floor. And this is where, obviously, because it didn't have anything attached to the end of the cable, it just discharged and seared the wall. But that was running through the coax, you know, an old coax phone line, not a phone line, but a TV coax. So it was traveling through all of those systems, not necessarily through the electrical system. So we've gone through, obviously we closed City Hall Friday. We did open up back up on Monday, full operation. as far as from the public's perspective, all of our offices were fully open and operational. We did have sporadic, we were working, different offices had laptops up, working on Wi-Fi, but every office was fully functional and operational. And then, we're just continuing to assess. We have network people. On Friday, Public Works called in probably 8 different vendors that came in and looked at our generator, electrician, HVAC, alarm company, security company. So all different trades were in on Friday evaluating the systems, and we're still, evaluating and coming up with what the final, our JIF insurance adjuster was out on site and has scheduled to come back out on site again just to start taking inventory of what we are. And we've already started making emergency purchases on Friday. I ordered several computers to make sure that they were overnighted, delivered so that they were ready to start setting up on Monday morning so that we could continue operations at the government. So that's where we stand today. We met as an OEM team to come up with a plan moving forward. So we were getting prices from several lightning arrestor companies to create, there's different arresters that you can that will cover different areas. So we're looking at potentially putting an arrestor up there that would cover essentially almost the entire block from here, from Ocean, Lafayette, to Franklin to Ocean, just to kind of cover that whole block. Covers a lot of our city buildings and some other public and private buildings, but it'll kind of give us coverage and protection for there. We're also having an electrical engineer come in and evaluate and give us recommendations on surge protection at both whole building surge protection on the electrical side, but also surging on communications side as well. So that'll be moving forward. That's why you also see the emergency resolution. That dollar amount is to cover the installation of those things. Obviously, the computers, the networking stuff, we have to pay for them up front, but then that'll be reimbursed. So that emergency appropriation is not to cover those things that were damaged. That emergency appropriation is to look at making sure that we now set up that fund to make sure we can get that done, and then we'll follow through and with that course that we discussed with OEM and everything.
So just 2 other pieces, the council liaison for OEM and our new coordinator, Deputy Chief Mike Eck. We will have a debrief meeting in 2 weeks. He's collecting information from each of the department heads so that we can just sit and talk and sort of lessons learned, number 1, which obviously this was not anything that could have been avoided, but just making sure that there's a little bit more documentation around all of the vendors and the systems and who to call. And then I did also ask Mr. Dietrich, as part of this exercise, even though the JIF will be responsible for a lot of the cost, for us to have a sense of really what the impact was financially, so that we are just aware as a council, even though they're going to be paying the claim. Obviously, it's still our insurance at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that'll be part of the summary that would come back to this.
And we'll have that itemized both ways, what the insurance cost is, but also what additional protection measures that we're going to do to take for future.
Right.
They say that lightning never strikes twice in the same spot, but and it's important that we spend the money needed to do this so that way it never happens again.
Well, but what I'll say is, when I talked to the different electrical engineers and contractors, nobody warranties this stuff. Nobody's going to guarantee that this won't happen again. So it could happen again. The lightning strike that we had today was of a certain magnitude and had a certain potential energy. I think that this strike was probably of a larger magnitude than what happened in previous years. It doesn't mean the next one might be more or less or worse, or come in maybe at a different thing that we haven't thought of. So, but no company is going to be able to guarantee us and give us that warranty that, hey, you're guaranteed for, that we're going to cover that cost. You still need insurance to cover it, but we need to do is to give ourselves the best protection so that, it's really about continuing operation of government to have that, the smallest amount of downtime.
It's recovery.
Interruption
recovery.
to our service, but I think from overall, Friday was our only day of interruption of service, and we were back in business Monday morning, 7:30,
I
conducting
did hear
business.
from some businesses on Columbia that were impacted by the same strike. That's how
Yeah,
powerful it
I
was
think-
on, yeah,
I think, I mean, I talked
My
to,
internet
Yeah.
got fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're going to,